Guys, please order your coffee, have some water, please, something. I'm feeling so bad. She saw this very crazy person who's just talking and not even looking here and there and not realizing that I've entered. So she just went like this, hi. And if you see it in slow motion, I have turned, I've looked at her face for a second and then I've jumped.
Your real life can very easily take over your real life.
One thing you wish you'd known earlier in your parenting journey.
Not to take other people's opinions very seriously.
Hi Shreya. Hi. So before we begin the conversation, I am going to give a brief introduction to our viewers about you.
Sure.
So today we are sitting with somebody who's a mother of two. She's built so much in the past 7-8 years. Correct me if I'm wrong.
8 years, yes.
8 years. And she's been building content. She's been building thriving communities. She's been hosting a lot of events where brands and audience love her, trust her. And today currently she's in a season where she's celebrating her own journey. And she's been receiving all the love and trust from many brands, many audiences. And we are here to congratulate her today and know everything about her journey and motherhood and how far she's come. So, Shreya, okay, where do we start from? Can we go back and if
Depends
you,
how far back do you want to go.
like early days when you started creating content,
Mhm.
you knew what you're building? Like, what was it?
Not at all, not at all. I keep telling everyone it's a very funny story how I started creating content. We had a family friend, a cousin, who used to write blogs. And back then there was no Instagram. So I started off with writing blogs, long form content. And that picked up really well with family and friends. After that, I had my younger one. And it was a very, very difficult pregnancy that I had. It was a high risk pregnancy. She was born premature in 33 weeks. She spent a couple of weeks in NICU, and it was a very difficult postpartum also. And August, she was born, and October, I thought of, pouring the same thoughts that I was. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The same thoughts that I was pouring into my blog. I thought, why not just put a picture to it and put it on Instagram? And that's how my Instagram page was born. 4 Tiny Feet is what I used to call it at that time. And it was a very by fluke decision, because I keep telling everybody, I said, like we all know, husbands have selective hearing.
Correct. I agree.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Very
So yeah, so what I started was completely by fluke, because the idea initially was to vent. So now obviously it was 8 years back, but if I go and read my post, sometimes it comes in the memories. I feel like, my God, there was so much to rant inside. So that's how I started. At that point, I had no idea there was something known as collaborations. You can actually make money out of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely no clue about it. So that was how it was born. That is how it started. And yet, then, yes, along the way, it picked up, and I got invited to my first event. I still remember it was so surreal. Just being there and looking at a couple of creators who I had followed at that time.
Yeah.
And can I have a picture with you? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I have a picture with you? And all of those conversations, and it was a beautiful experience. It's been a good journey.
Good then. And you always wanted to. You've been a cabin crew before. Like
have, yes.
Did you know there's? When did you think you'll quit this space and you are going to go?
So
ahead?
I actually never wanted to work after marriage. I was very clear about it, and I have been lucky, touch wood, that my husband and I were on the same page, because he also wanted somebody who can handle the house, and because we wanted our roles to be equally divided. That this is your territory, this is mine. So that is something that we bonded on instantly, and we got married in like 6 months of knowing each other. I met him on the flight, and we started dating. Within 3 months, we were engaged. And within 3
Wow,
months
that
of
was
that, we were married.
fast.
And by my first anniversary, I had my elder one.
Oh, that's
So,
that's
there was-
something so similar with
you know-
me as well. Wow,
You know,
first time
they say Chat Mangni Pat Vyah. It was,
Yes.
and Pat Bacha.
But bacha, wow.
So it
I
was
can
like
relate
that
to that completely. How
in my
fast.
case. So I had quit my job before I got married. And after my younger one was born, we had always discussed this, Yatharth and I, that if at all I feel like working, I always told him that I want to do something that I can do at my own pace and my own time. Because when it comes to my kids, I have a little, I'm a little paranoid where, I need to know where they are. I need to know what they're wearing. Are they ready properly? What is going on at home and everything. So keeping that in mind, I was like, there's no way I can do it. I was anyways never built for a 9 to 5 job, which is why I went into flying. I never wanted to do a 9 to 5 job. So what I started doing 8 years back is something that ticked all the boxes.
All the
I could
boxes,
do
wow.
everything on my own. It was close to my kids. It was about my kids. So
Lovely.
everything was, I think, it
Synced well.
it came together at the right time for me.
Yes. And I was just watching some of your content. Tell us about your motherhood experience, like, because I've heard that's been a high risk pregnancy, and about your support system during those times. How?
So, with my first pregnancy, everything was very smooth. I was 22 when I got pregnant. I delivered at 23. Very, very smooth pregnancy till the final days. In fact, 2 weeks before my delivery, I was partying for New Year's till 5 a.m. So, I had a very, very smooth pregnancy. And obviously, I was very young. So, I didn't know what I was getting into. I was just taking it as it comes, one day at a time. But post delivery is when there were no medical complications as such, but I developed postpartum depression. And initially, I kind of ignored it, but like everyone else says, it wasn't, for me, it was not any stigma per se. I think it was just ignorance because you're so young, you don't really want to pay attention to these things. And then you're busy raising the baby.
And also during those times, like maybe 5
Well,
years.
this was
6
around
years,
for 15 years back, 14 years back.
nobody used to talk about it.
Nobody used
Nobody
to
used
talk about it. In fact, even if you would talk about it, it was very, in a very hush-hush tone.
Yes.
So, and I didn't really pay attention to it. I was like, "Hi, big deal, what is it?"
Yeah.
There was no study, there was no education around it.
Yeah, there was no.
So I didn't really pay attention and I ignored it till it became full-blown depression. And I was miserable. I was miserable for months. I don't know how my family tackled me because, kudos to my husband. I've given him some very bad times.
Because I mean,
during
you're
that time.
everywhere. Your emotions are everywhere.
A lot of times people say that, oh, I feel bad for this person because they're going through depression. I feel like more than the person who's actually going through are people around them who face much more because they are helpless. Till the person who's going through it does not acknowledge it, they are helpless.
Right.
And I distinctly remember that we were having some conversation and my mom came and she said, and it was not like a planned thought. She said, why don't you meet a psychiatrist? It was just randomly. And I was also shocked by it. I'm like, why? Like, no, you're, sad. It doesn't harm talking to somebody and all. And honestly, even then, I didn't take it seriously. So when I went, there's a whole process to it. You go to the psychologist to get a analysis done. And then you go to the psychiatrist and they tell you what it is. So once I went to the psychiatrist, that's when I was diagnosed with depression. And I underwent treatment for around 10 months. And I was a completely different person. I was obviously going for counseling every week. I was taking my medicines on time. Whatever they said, I was doing. And I could see the changes. I could see that I was being a very unreasonable and very weird and so not myself person because that was not me at all. And yeah, so that's the first pregnancy. Then around in 2015, I had conceived. I had a miscarriage in the first trimester. It was a very ugly miscarriage because I bled out too much and I had to be admitted because my hemoglobin crashed, and it was a very traumatic miscarriage. Uh, Post that, I developed paranoia. And I didn't, again, we use these words so loosely that, my God, this girl is being so paranoid. But only the person going through it understands what you feel, when you're going through that. And again, I went through the whole system, and I think it took me around 4 months,
Okay.
5 months, and I was back to my
And
own
all
self.
this while, were you working?
No,
You took
I
your
was
time
a
out.
stay-at-home mom, and I was happily handling everything, and yeah, enjoying my life at home. Wasn't working. Yeah, that's it.
So, Shreya, after becoming a mother, your identity, you leave back a lot of things behind,
Yes.
you lose your identity. How did you gather everything and you said, ki, okay, now, no, like, okay, I need an identity of myself or I want to do something. How did that happen?
Sharanya, at the age of 23, when you become a mother, you don't know what the
Right?
hell you're
Yes.
doing. I mean, it actually is embarrassing for me to even say this on camera. I didn't even know what a formula is. And there's a very, very stupid story behind it, because when we had pets at home, my grandmother used to say, the milk is too heavy for them. You have to mix half milk with half water. And then once the kids grow up, this is what you're supposed to give them. You take
Oh,
milk
yes, yes.
and you mix
You
half
mix it.
milk, half water.
So
and you say,
easy.
what is formula? Because for me, I thought formula is that, dairy creamer.
That the
we
cream
use
that we used to for making
for making
milkmaid,
tea and all of
yeah.
that. I thought formula is that. I was that naive and stupid. So, yes, I did lose my identity, and I was always kind of a people pleaser, because for me it was very important that no matter who's around me, whether they are close to me or not, it was my nature that I was a people pleaser. That okay, fine, this person shouldn't feel bad. So it took a lot of years for me to understand that not everyone's going to like me. I'm not chocolate, and I need to have my own identity. One thing that my husband and I were very clear on: for us, we are a couple first and parents later. So till date, we have date nights, mandatory date
Lovely.
nights. It's
Very
not something
nice.
that is scheduled.
Yeah.
It's just something, today he's had a heavy day or I've had a heavy day. And we say, let's just go out,
Yeah. Yes.
So that is something that we always
Always.
maintained. We're going to finish 15 years of marriage now.
Wow.
And we've maintained that
Lovely.
throughout. Of course, we've been through our ups and downs.
Absolutely.
But that's something that's remains constant. And that also helps you because you have those bifurcations in your life, that this is my role as a mother, this is my role as a wife, and this is my separate identity.
How do you get that clarity? Because there's so much going on. How do you?
There's a lot of monologue that goes behind it, Sharanya, because I don't think someone's made me sit down and said that you need to take out time for yourself. That need for doing it for yourself has to come from within. Yes, of course, listening from people and seeing some people and, taking their example helps. But I feel like unless you decide for yourself that I come first, and I live by this saying for, I think, last 10 years, I live by this saying, my sanity trumps everything. Nothing is bigger, nothing and no one is bigger than my sanity. If it affects my sanity, it's off the table. I'm not doing it. So that's something that I have had to learn the hard way. Because even after my younger one was born, one day I was feeding her, and because she was a preemie baby, I had to pump and I had to feed her with a syringe. So I fed her and I was pumping, and she threw up and she choked on her own vomit at 4 a.m. She went blue, stopped breathing, and we had to
Oh,
rush her to
that's
the
scary.
hospital. And again, she had to stay back in the hospital. So, when you see all of that, sometimes things are put into perspective.
Correct. Yeah.
So that difficult time, actually, you think that it'll get you closer to your baby. It also got me closer to myself, because when I sit and think how I handle that situation, and I'm like, I deserve an applause.
Yeah, absolutely. I can relate it so well. I think please
Yes.
don't wait. So I actually so rightly and so aptly you've mentioned like uh, you deserve a pat on your back because only you know what you go through during that moment as a
Correct.
mother to see your child like this because uh, for me as a mother, I've similarly faced a situation where my daughter had a surgery when she was 8 months old,
Oh my God.
and it was a skull surgery. So you can't even imagine.
Of course.
And only a mother and the father realizes, okay, what I think those are the moments in parenting. I believe it makes or breaks you.
It makes or breaks you.
So it for a mother definitely it makes you such a strong person and it's like an anchor for you.
Yeah, and when you
for your
look
life.
back and you see the strength that you had, that you didn't
Yeah.
even realize that you had it in you.
Correct.
And I always say this, please don't wait for the world to pat you on your back. You need to pat yourself on the back
Yeah.
when you see yourself doing well. That is what matters the most, because how do you expect other people to, praise you when you're not praising yourself? Why are you looking for validation from a third person?
Correct.
First, see what you
What
have
will-
within yourself and then, praise yourself.
Yeah.
So I always maintain this.
Very true. Very true. And okay, what does a good day look like for you?
Okay. A good day.
A good day for Shreya. What is a good day for
Okay, a good day would be me getting more than 6 hours of sleep. I usually don't wake up for my kids' school in the morning.
you? Okay.
I've heard a lot of different opinions about that.
Oh.
But yeah, so I wake up, I will just chill on the couch, and then my husband gets ready. So I just sit there while he's getting ready. This has been a ritual for 15 years now. When he's getting ready, I sit there and I nag him, and
Wow.
and we have our little tiff or whatever.
Yes.
Then he goes to work, and I go back to my emails and everything. On a good day, I would blast the music after everyone leaves from the house.
Yay.
Kids are in school, husband's in the office. So I blast my music. I have a
Lovely.
nice lunch. And of course, the work calls and everything go on.
Lovely.
Kids come back home. I spend some time with them. And we have a mandatory 2 hours outdoor time for them. They're not allowed to be home in the evenings. So when they go down, I don't go down because that's my time.
What are your food cravings for? Are you a sweet person or savory person? Or
Out and out sweet person.
complete sweet.
Sweets in any shape and form are welcome. Liquid, solid, gas.
And you had
They're all
any
welcome.
cravings during your pregnancy?
My first pregnancy, we used to go to the club every evening. And there was this uncle there, very old uncle. And he used to give me one Black Forest pastry every day. So every day I have gone there and I've had one Black Forest pastry with the uncle. That is what led to me being a balloon by the 9th month. But yeah,
Wow.
even with the younger one, it's been
Cravings.
constant. And then you just feel like, I can't feel guilty about it because I'm eating for two.
I never felt guilty.
So
I
half
had
for her and
full-
half for me. So yeah,
What is the age gap between your
5.5
daughters?
years.
5.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. I feel today's parenting space has become, I mean, there is more awareness, there is more talking about a lot of concepts and a lot of, there's much more understanding than how it was.
It was. It is.
15,
There's a
10
lot of
years
information out
back.
there. But Sharanya, I feel, everything has its pros and cons. A lot of information can be beneficial, but it can be harmful as well. If you ask me about my parenting style, I don't believe in gentle parenting. And it may, stir the pot or make a lot of people upset. But discipline is something that
I agree.
I firmly believe in. Yes, of course, I joke around with my kids and we have our own moments and everything. But at the end of the day, they know that there are certain boundaries as uh, kids that they need to respect. And there is a certain level of respect and decorum that is to be maintained within the family. And that is something that I have grown up with, and I feel like that is non-negotiable for me. So I get where you're coming from when you say there is a lot of good information out there, but I've also seen it cause harm to families because too much information also sometimes is dangerous.
I mean, it can make you obsessed with
Exactly.
being a certain kind of a parent,
Exactly.
not doing this
Yeah.
or not doing.
See, I feel like everything in moderation
Correct.
is good enough. When it comes to discipline, you need to set some rules and they are non-negotiable. Sometimes I see the child going and hitting the father. And the mother's like, no, he's just upset. No. There is no, he's just upset. There is a hard no. This is a boundary you cannot cross. And as parents, it is up to us to maintain and get that respect for our better halves within the family. It works both ways. Like we've been very clear since the beginning. If I say something to the kids, nobody will oppose it. If he says something to the kids, they come to me. They still do it. In spite of being, so particular about things, they still try and pit us against each other. But all we say is, but you've already asked Papa this.
The staying on the same page is so important
Very
for both of them.
Very important. And Sharanya, again, it brings me back to the same thing. That can only happen if you're a couple first and parents later.
Yeah.
Because if you can't be in sync if you're only thinking like a mother and a father. You need to think like a unit, like a team. That is the only time you'll be able to be in sync for your kids. A lot of people say, you're being selfish, you're not putting your kids first. But I just feel that, how? My child is the result of the love that my husband and I have. So that love will always come first. That is not going to be replaced by anything. But that doesn't mean I love my kids less or they're not my priority.
Correct.
And
I completely agree with that.
yeah, because that information part is
It's too much of information, too much of noise.
too much noise.
So also with being a content creator for you, Shreya, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with the kind of content you make, create, the brand associations that you have with. So how do you decide how you want to show up online? How do you decide how much you want to share and how much you don't want to share?
So what you see on Instagram, I think is just 25% of my life. There is tons more that goes on behind that. And I still feel that I'm oversharing.
Okay.
There are certain boundaries that I have built for myself over the years. When it comes to my kids, their school's name, where they study, is never disclosed online. When it comes to my husband, I post a little less about him because of the work, because of his work, because he's a professional as well. So I need to respect those boundaries and his position as well. So I try and maintain those boundaries. When it comes to me choosing what kind of content I want to share, or the brand associations like you asked, yes, I'm a content creator. I have a responsibility, but I'm also a businesswoman.
Yeah.
For me, content creation is not a hobby. It's my business. So yes, I do share the raw moments and everything, but I have also done brand associations which some or the other creators may not agree with. Again, we are so many of us in this space. Not everyone is going to like or dislike what you do. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. At the end of the day, I have to decide what I'm okay with. And I've always said this. Every time someone's asked me, why have you chosen to endorse so-and-so brand when so many other people are against it? My answer is simple. My audience follows me. They know me. They know what I talk about. And I'm pretty sure they're very, very smart to understand the difference between organic content and an ad. Because at the end of the day, I'm a businesswoman. My job is marketing. Someone's hired me to do that marketing and I'm getting paid for it. And of course, people are going to come at me saying that, oh my God, it's all for money. Hello, I have goals. I have ambitions. I have a house to run. If you sitting at home are going to decide, map out your entire life and your child's life looking at a 6-inch screen, honey, you really need to reconsider your parenting. Yes, you follow us. Yes, you relate to us. But the decision at the end of the day should be your own. I cannot decide what you do with your child. I should not be given the power to decide what you choose and what you do not choose for your child. That should be your call as a mother or as a parent. So my audience, I'm very proud of the audience I have. Yeah, I have touched wood, and I hope I don't jinx it, but I've touched wood till date, not been trolled or, anything that I've done been taken in a negative light. I feel like they know, they understand that this is her work, this is her life,
Yes.
and she separates it.
And nowadays, audience are smart enough. They are smart enough to understand
Exactly.
what the decision making, the power that they have. They are
Exactly.
very good at it. And
See, like you said,
they-
there's so much information
Yes.
out there.
so much information, and when I look at your content, I find a lot of relatability over there. Like I can actually relate because I've
Thank
seen the whole content. There is a lot of that's the reason I feel that okay, there are very few the journey that you've come so far. You've literally come so far in the 7 8 years that because of that relatability that you have with your viewers and audience. And what do you think the next future is for content creation? Do you have anything that you feel like?
See, I feel like our industry, influencer industry, is
Very cluttered, very unorganized, because no one gave us a user manual and said, this is what you need to do. But I feel there is a lot of scope in it. Also, what I'm seeing with the trends is that with time, the brands and the agencies are getting smarter. They're understanding who to choose, who not to choose. And I think it also comes with them having close relationships with creators.
Correct.
Because earlier it used to be, tuck, email, see the profile and everything, and just roll it out. Now they're taking the time to talk to the creator, to see their content. And I feel like that's so much needed. But at the same time, I feel we need a lot of filtration.
Regulations.
The
and
UAE
stuff.
has this very amazing thing. They have licenses for content creators. So if you do not have a license, you cannot do a brand endorsement. And I feel that is
Wow.
so much needed
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
country like ours,
Yes.
where the population is obviously much, much bigger. So you need those protocols and the guidelines. And there are certain platforms, certain, forums that are trying to do that.
Yes.
They are succeeding,
Yes.
so to speak, in some manner, but there is a long way to go.
There's a long way to go.
There's a long way.
I honestly feel it's high time now that India needs to come up with a
Absolutely.
lot of regulation, not only digital, but there are a lot of medical or even brands that the regulations are
Yeah.
not in place.
There have been certain talks in the past where, you can only promote a medical product if you are qualified to promote it, and all those things that have come up. But I have felt, again, it also stems from how cluttered the industry is, that anyone with a phone and an Instagram account today can be a content creator.
Yes.
So the space is so cluttered that to actually put it down and enforce it is very difficult. So there have to be some drastic steps to be taken, but it really needs to be a lot more organized than it is now.
Yes.
So that I feel is the need of the hour.
How was your initial early age of motherhood? Like, I know those times there was not much information. There were not even like a specialty doctors even in those days.
There were specialty doctors were there, but like we have so many portals and so many communities, back then there were only 1 or 2 websites that we could check, and we would get these notifications every week. Now your baby is the size of a pea. Now your baby is the size of a tomato.
Yes, yes, yes. And it was so fascinating for
Yeah.
me to check it every
Yeah,
week. Okay,
so-
how is it looking right now?
This
So
is what your baby
fun.
should be doing by now. This
Yeah.
is the development, and the hands are formed, and the
Wow.
skin is forming. So that's how you used to know. That time, that was our only source of information, and of course,
Yes.
books and all. But I bought a lot of books, but I didn't read any. I'm
Not a book
reader.
person.
I'm not a book person. I'm sorry.
I think after becoming a mother, I have not read book. But before
Yeah?
becoming a mother, I used to read so many books.
No, that's something that's
That's
not changed in
changed.
my life. I don't think I have read. I know, actually, I have read the entire Twilight series.
Oh,
That's my achievement.
Wow,
That's
That's
all I've
big.
done.
That's
big.
huge.
That's huge.
that's huge. That's not a small.
So yeah. So I have read that. That is the only book I have read. My younger one's now picking up reading quite a lot, so I'm very happy
Very
about
nice.
that.
Very nice. And what do you like when you go to a restaurant? What do you order? Do you order? Are you someone who experiments a lot, or are you a
I-
comfort?
So I'm
person.
somewhere in between, Sharanya, because I'm someone who likes to stick to the ingredient wise. I will stick to what I like, but I'm open to different preps and trying new places because Yathat and I we really love trying new places, new restaurants. So we go and then I'll experiment a little. I love experimenting with cocktails. That is something I
Oh,
really love
lovely.
doing.
Nice.
And I think that comes from the job also that I have.
yeah.
So that's something that I really like doing. And with food, you tell me any dessert to try, I'm your
Yeah.
person.
Any
I'll
any
always
any
do
guilty pleasure that you have so far with food?
that. I just landed from my vacation 12 days later, and the first thing I did was I ordered from online. I ordered rasgulla and gulab jamuns. Like, I've not had it in 12 days. I really need like my dose of Indian sweets. And it's not like I wasn't having
Lovely,
dessert
yeah.
there, but it's not the same.
Not
So,
the same, yeah.
Indian
Indian-
sweets,
Indian,
Bengali
don't.
sweets, that is
Oh,
my
yes. Yes, yes.
guilty pleasure.
Amazing.
That's something that I my go-to.
Amazing. Okay, I have a question. Sorry. So I want to go back to where you mentioned when you were uh, after delivery, there was no platform or no such platform so far, but you created one, right? Yes. So did the bloggers meet come first or the
No, my page came first, and 2 years later, this was, I think, just before lockdown. I think a few months before lockdown is when again, I think everything in my life is by fluke.
Wow.
So I had created a WhatsApp group for an event where all the us creators were there, and we wanted to share pictures with each other. That's how the group was made, and that's the group that got converted to the community group. And this was, I think, in 2000, late 2019 is when we did.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Five,
so we
6
did
years.
that, and it just grew. I think it just grew by word of mouth because there was no such platform like this where creators can connect, where they can. I mean, yes, there were platforms where you can probably connect with the brands, but I don't think there were any platforms where you can connect with your peers.
Each other, yeah.
Where you can speak to them and understand how things can be done, share opportunities, share your doubts, share the frustration that you have. Today, we have two groups. We have over 1,500 members in both our groups combined.
That's amazing.
Yes, and it's all by word of mouth. We've never
Yes.
had to really tell people that come join
Yeah,
us.
I realized it because your growth has been a very silent. You've grown and it has been a very silent growth where it's a massive growth, but it has been so silently done that it is a great achievement that
See,
you.
I keep reading this in a lot of places that be quiet, let your success and your work talk.
and you
Let your hard
walk
work
that
talk.
walk. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
walk the talk.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always have believed in, and I can't stress enough, is community over competition.
Yeah.
I feel like that is what led to the start of my creator community. We started with only mom creators just from Mumbai.
Wow.
And now we have fashion creators, travel creators, food
Wow, all
creators,
over.
from Pan India. We have people from Agra. We have people from, you know, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, and we've given them opportunities. And we've, I feel like I don't want to talk about the opportunities as much because that was never the goal of the community. The goal was always, I keep telling everyone, if you're joining us just to get collaborations and just to get events, please don't. Because we've built something very beautiful and very sacred to me that, anytime there is a problem that somebody posts, even at 2 a.m., there are so many people within the industry who will, bounce in, chime in and give their inputs and help and resolve, if someone's not getting their payment out of an agency, someone's like, oh, I had also done it. And,
Strong,
I'm
yeah.
also not getting my payment. What do we do? Let's form a group. Let's email them together. There's power in numbers. And it's so beautiful to see people come together and do this without any, they're not getting any benefit to themselves. They're not getting paid to do it. They're not getting anything in return. And I feel like that can only happen if you walk the talk.
Correct.
Because till date, we've not asked our members to pay us to, get any information out of us or get any help out of us. We've done community tie-ups. Yes, we will charge the brand because brand is the one getting benefited from it.
Yes.
But we'll never tell the creators that you need to pay us because I'm getting this opportunity for you. So far.
Yes.
So
But that's the power of community, I've just
Absolutely.
realized, like, in today's, even today, back then, maybe when you were building the community, it was not so much, maybe.
No,
But
it's
today,
been like that since day one, Sharanya.
Yeah.
We've had, people who have 1,000 followers be on the group contributing to it. We've had people with 200K, 300K followers, coming in, doing Zoom, during lockdown. We did so many workshops, we did so many webinars with people, and they didn't charge us anything. They were just happy to come and help and talk to the community about, certain things, how things work. And because that education is so important. And I have always maintained this. You cannot stop someone from entering the industry, but you can teach them
teach them
on how to
Absolutely.
thrive.
Yes.
And that's what matters. When I did this campaign where a mom creator from a tier 3 city, from a village, had participated, and it was a very small amount, Sharanya, which we probably would blow up on, our breakfast out, a brunch out day. And she messaged me. She said, "Ma'am, you paid me this, and I bought toys for my child from my own money." And you have no idea how that felt. It was so beautiful. So why do I want to stop anyone from coming into this industry? If it's their source of income, I can teach them.
Correct.
If I give them less money and they come back to me saying next time saying that, you need to pay me more, that's an achievement for me. And that has happened where we've given them something and the next campaign they've come back to and they said, we want to charge more.
Wow.
So I take pride in that. We did
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
We taught that. And
That's
that's not something that one person can do. Because if I was the only one screaming at top of my voice, community over competition, community over, who's listening?
Yeah.
It's those people in the community who've come together, who are supporting the cause and participating in it and making it happen.
It's the people.
That's
for
the beauty
people.
of community.
Yeah. Beautiful. And it's quite admirable how far you've come with building so many things together.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow. And what about Sobo Mom?
Sobo Mom. Oh my God. My Sobo
Very
Moms.
interesting. Yes.
So, so we again met at one of the events and we kind of connected, and we connected so much that we were just, two of us, three of us were just in a corner. We had our own side party going on. And that's how we met and we started talking. They were all part of my creator community from day one. But we never really interacted so deeply as we did at a few events 2 years back. And then it just clicked, and then we spoke about it. We were actually initially 6 of us. And then, of course, one of them quit blogging and the other one was, far away. So the 4 of us together has been a riot. And everyone keeps telling. So initially we started the page and we were like, we want to create content and everything.
And when was this? Sorry, which?
So this was, the page we started was, I think, last year. End of 2023, I think, somewhere around that time. A year ago, more than a year ago. and we were creating content, and we would meet regularly to create content, and then we realized that we're meeting to create content. We want to meet to catch up. We want to meet to, just chill together. And so lucky for us that all our husbands get together. All our kids get
Wow.
along so well. We have kids from the age of 2 to the age of 15, 14 in our group. And
Wow.
all of them get along so beautifully. And so we go out together. And I think it's just, having, I'm sure you must have read it somewhere that yes, childhood friends are good, but the friends that you collect after becoming a mom,
Yes. I was just coming over. That's such a beautiful
that's a
feeling.
beautiful treasure, beautiful
Yeah.
feeling. In fact, just last night we were out celebrating my 100K.
Yes.
And one of them was like sending me reminders 99.6, 99.7. And like, yeah, I can see that. But yeah,
Wow.
and I was
Yeah.
like, guys, we have to meet tonight. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
And we were there.
Absolutely.
So
true.
it's a beautiful bond that we share, and of course we also have our own personalities and own ways.
4 women coming together.
Yeah, four
It's a-
women coming together is a big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's a big thing.
It's a lot of chaos.
It's
But
chaos. It's
for
strength.
us, it's yeah. For us, it's about how we turn that chaos into our strength.
Correct, yeah.
So that we've done, I think we've captured that beautifully. So now we focus on meeting together. We're like, if any content comes out of it, it comes out of it. We want to meet and we want to chill.
Right.
That's the main goal.
Main one.
Yeah.
Very
So we love
nice.
doing that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So sweet. And it's basically, do you all also have meetups and everything with the other community moms?
No, I think I don't
Yeah.
think we are, I think our group is too sacred to let anyone in. It's too private.
It's private.
The talks cannot go out. It has to be censored. In fact, I know the minute I switch on my phone, it's going to be
It's
like ting,
going-
ting, ting, ting. So yeah,
I think they will
it's
be
too
so
sacred to
happy-
let
happy-
anyone in.
Happy right now.
Very,
The
very
happiest gang.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, I think we've gone way beyond content creation. I think it's more about us as
Us.
people, and we all bring something to the table. Like,
Yeah.
I have one person who I would go to for one thing, then another person for one thing. So we all have our roles and our, the way we contribute. And, sometimes someone's lagging because they're busy, and then we whip them and like, come online. Why haven't you messaged?
That's so important
Yeah,
in today's
It's very, very important.
stressful
need
life
that.
that you
Trust
live
me.
in.
You need your mom friends because
Yeah.
they know exactly what you'll be going through. Yes. So,
Yeah.
sorry. So, I was the first one to get married in my group. My husband was the first one to get married in his group. So, nobody could relate to us. We were the first ones to have kids. And for the longest time, none of the friends were married. None of them had kids. So, we had no one to talk to about those things, to relate with. And now, when I have these girls, anything that happens, the first message has to go on the group.
On
Like, guys, this happened. Guys, I fought. Guys, I am really, really irritated right now.
Yes.
So that is my rant.
No, I completely agree. I can't wait for my daughter to go to school and have her own gang and then have my own gang.
But you know what? It's a misconception. I always say this. A lot of times, the friends you make in school, in your child's school, are out of convenience because your child goes
you
there.
still go. You're
You
going
want
there.
them to mingle. The mom friends that you make on your own are the ones who will actually stick. I have this another group of girls, 6 girls. So most of them are not on Instagram. And our kids were together and we became friends 12 years back. Our kids don't even talk to each other. They probably don't even recognize each other, but we still keep meeting.
Yes.
And they're the ones who keep me grounded because they're not on Insta. So they don't care.
Wow. So I believe this friendship is so important for a mother.
It is.
Even for the whole family, I believe. Absolutely. Super important.
It's very important for the husbands also because then the
For the
wives
husband,
have a
because
distraction.
Otherwise, it's too heavy for a husband to, oh my God.
It's very important for a happy marriage as well.
Yes, I agree.
But that I completely agree with.
So, Shreya, you've told about your pregnancy journey, the importance of having a great partnership relation in your life. We've spoken about the communities that you've built and it's thriving. And tell us about today. Let's talk about what's happening today, because I've seen your journey. You've come so far, and tell us about that moment when you were hosting Edamama launch event of Baby Care. Tell us about that exact moment. What came to your mind when you had that?
Oh my God. I can't. It was actually very hilarious, very hilarious. So I got to know a day prior that I'm doing this. And I kept of course, I kept my calm and I was very professional and I took the briefing. But inside, I'm like jumping like a little girl. And I messaged my girls and everyone in the family, I am doing this tomorrow. And cut to, I go there and I'm talking, I'm saying my lines, and she's walked in, which I was not aware about. So she
Yeah.
very speedily come because she saw this very crazy person who's just talking, and not even looking here and there and not realizing that I've entered. So she just went like this, hi. And if you see it in slow motion, I've looked at her face for a second and then I've jumped. Because you know, when you have a star, no matter how much you
Yeah.
say you're not star, but when you have someone so successful and you know, so admirable right next to you, like so close to you, and they're like, hi, by surprise, I have jumped.
But you've handled it so well, because
I hope so.
you definitely handled it so well, because otherwise if there was somebody else, or it was me, I would have definitely cried over there. Imagine, I didn't have any words. I won't have any words.
And I was very embarrassed after
You
that.
picked it up from there.
Yeah, but I did fumble. Because I, for a split second, I forgot what I was supposed to do or say. So, but I did pick it up and it got over and I was like, guys, I'm so embarrassed and you know, what have I done?
Do you love hosting events? Like how?
I do. I love hosting events. I think, so, you know, it's actually kind of stupid or weird. I'm not a very social person otherwise.
Yeah?
I'm a very, very antisocial person. If you see me at a public gathering where I'm not hosting or like personally, you'll always see me with a few, 2, 3 of my own people. Or if I don't know anyone, I'll just be sitting in a corner
Yes,
on my
yes.
phone.
I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that.
So
Yes.
I'm that kind of a person. I don't. It's very difficult for me to go up to people and have small talk. It doesn't come easy to me, but my profession demands that. So, but the reason I love hosting events is because of the kind of people you meet. You're meeting different people every time. You're working with different brands, and it's just a joy that you know you feel bringing so many people together, and that's something that's very. I love that feeling.
Amazing. Yeah. And I've met you in a couple of events, I think. Yes, I somewhere you have so much of poise and you have that confidence in you that I
Thank you.
could feel that, you know, like I only wish good luck and all the best for you.
Thank you.
What next? Do you have anything planned for
Well,
this
I have
year or
my,
in general?
I have my website launching soon, very, very soon. That's something that I've been working towards for a year now. Because a lot of people ask me, what do you do? And that website is the answer to what I do, what all I do.
Wow,
So
very curious
we worked
to
on it
see.
and we wanted to keep it very minimalist and very straightforward and to the point. So the team and I have been working on that and it's gonna happen very soon. And of course, I'm just still taking in the viral moment that I
Yes,
had,
your
which
moment.
in fact, it was so funny. My phone was off. And I didn't know about it till 4 hours later because there was a panel discussion after that I had to moderate. So I was doing the dry run and the phone was off. And then suddenly I meet a few bloggers who've come to attend it and they're like, congratulations. And, what? Where's your phone? I said, my phone is off. What happened? Like, you've gone viral. Viral Behani has posted about it. It's all over. I'm like, okay, wait, I have to do something. I will see it later. And I switched on my phone to more than 450 messages. And, you know, yes, you're happy about what happened and you're embarrassed because that is one embarrassing moment that someo's decided to
That's a
take
very cute
viral.
moment, I would say. Yes.
But I was so happy with the fact, with knowing how many other people were happy for me.
Yeah, correct.
Like more than me, because they've gone in all the reels. There were around 30 to 35 reels
Wow.
across all the PAPS
Wow.
pages. And people have gone on their reels and tagged me in the comments. So I see it and I was like, wow, this is what I've earned. This is my
Absolutely.
earning, you know.
Yes, yes.
That's how I measure my success. It's not, I was telling my husband, I said, शोहरत आ गई, दौलत आनी बाकी है.
But you know, that happiness was, I felt so happy when I saw that.
See,
And
this
with
is what I'm
someone
talking
who,
about.
we've not known each other a lot. We've met, but when I saw that moment, I'm like, wow, I'm so happy for this girl because I've seen her work, and I've met so many other creators. But some content creators, you just instantly you relate to their work. You relate to, you know, that person has, you know, like gone through a lot of hard work, and that person has reached it. So that instant, I was like, okay, she's done such a good
That's
work.
what I was telling my husband. I said, you know, and you guys obviously will be happy. My family will be happy for me. My close friends will be happy for me. But for people who've never met me, they have messaged me and they have called me and they've sent me DMs and they were so happy for me. And I was like, you know, this is your real currency.
Yeah,
This is what you earn.
true.
And that
Very
you can only do when you have the support and love of a community behind you. You can't do it otherwise.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
So social media rewards speed nowadays, you know, like rewards speeds and trends. But what parenting unfolds slowly and imperfectly? How do you balance the pace of internet and your daily rhythm? Like, how do you?
So it's, you know, it takes a lot of conscious choices to separate the two because your real life can very easily take over your real life. And I'm very slow in my real life as well. If you see my page, there are a lot of trends. When they're actually over is when I actually decide to hop onto those trends. So I am very relaxed and, you know, not in a rat race sort of mindset, even online. When it comes to parenting, I have certain goals, so to speak, that I've kept for myself and for my kids. And no matter what happens, they know that when mama is on Instagram, she's on Instagram for work. She's not scrolling for, you know, fun, for time pass. So I try and yes, they get a lot of benefits from my job. There are a lot of hampers that come. There are a lot of products that come. They attend so many events with me. They shoot for so many brands with me. But I make a conscious choice of keeping them grounded. And I think my husband's the one who ties it all together and he keeps me grounded as well.
Yeah, you need someone to
Absolutely.
get you back.
Absolutely. Like, you know, when the whole world is hyping you up, you need someone to tether you to the ground. And I feel like my family plays a very important role in that. And I have a couple of very close friends who do that for me, who will be like, you know, हाँ ठीक है, हो गया,
Yeah.
तुम्हारा ये moment, ये award, जो भी है सब हो गया, अब नीचे आ जाओ. So I feel like, you know, it's good to have yourself surrounded with such people. And that's what I do with my kids as well. I praise their achievements, but I also push them harder when they have to. Yes, like every parent, I always say that you don't need to come first, but you need to want to come first. That's more important. You know, whether it happens or not is not in your hands.
Correct.
But you should have that urge, have that want that and you need to accept.
Yeah, only then the efforts. You'll put in
Exactly.
that efforts.
If
to
I tell
do.
them that it's okay whether you win or you lose, you've already lost the battle there. It's
Yes.
not okay.
Yeah, I agree. My husband also agrees to this.
Yeah.
thing. He always believes that you need to work on thriving. You need to
Absolutely.
have that attitude and
Absolutely.
mind space that, okay, this is what, you know, that.
Yeah. Another thing that we consciously follow in our parenting is I believe that we should prepare our kids for the best, give them the best, but prepare them for the worst.
Yeah.
That's
True.
something that is lacking nowadays that I'm seeing
Yeah.
because yes, we are all, I mean, we are all struggling and we're all working to make lives better for ourselves and our kids.
I'm going to do a fun segment after this.
Okay,
We'll do a
let's
fun
do
segment.
it.
You're going to have one bite. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to answer it to me very honestly. So it's called one
Okay.
bite and one truth.
Okay, what are we biting into?
Whatever.
Let's do the cherry cake.
This one?
Yeah, let's do this. And you have to take a bite too.
Yeah.
I'm not taking all the calories in by myself.
Yes.
You have to share the
wow,
calories.
it has some.
That's really good. Like the milk cake and
I'm just going to go home and go to sleep. Nothing. I'm
lunch,
dead
dinner,
for
sabo,
today.
yeah. Supper, everything
I'm
is
dead
covered.
for today.
Okay. Now we both have to take
Okay.
a bite.
So,
Okay, I first take the bite.
Yeah.
And then I say the truth. Okay.
so one thing motherhood changed you completely. One thing that changed completely.
I think I became less mufat.
Wow. Less mufat.
Less mufat. Because I am known to be a loose cannon. I speak my mind. I have no filter at times. And I think parenting, of course, my job changed it too, to an extent. But parenting did change that for me. Yeah, I grew a little bit of a filter.
There's a filter.
Yeah,
that
I won't
came
say
up
it's
to it.
filtered completely, but yes, there's
But
progress.
in a
there.
good way, yes.
We are
Very
work in
nice.
progress.
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
Yum.
It's too good.
My next question is one habit that you're still working on.
One habit that I'm still working on. Caring less about what other people think of me. And like I believe that kuch to log kahenge,
Yeah.
but that should not define my existence. So that is still a work in progress. I'm still working on it. I've come a long way in the last 10 years. And I seek less validation now, but I need to completely get over it.
Big bites. Big bites.
Thank God
Chalo.
they've given us smaller spoons.
Good.
It's too good.
Okay. One thing you wish you'd known earlier in your parenting journey. One in your parenting journey and one in your content creation journey.
Okay, let me start with the content creation one.
Yeah.
One thing that I've known earlier is how to maintain boundaries with the brands and how to ask my worth. When I started off, I didn't know that. There were a lot of times I fell for scams. There were a lot of times I worked for much less than what I deserved. And I made those mistakes. I'm guilty of making those mistakes. But I also feel there was no platform or there was no mentor per se that I had to teach me the rules of the game. So I feel like if I had that, it would have been a different ballgame altogether. And one thing that I had known earlier in my parenting journey is, again, not to take other people's opinion very seriously. I feel like it's good to take advice, but don't let that advice be your life book when it comes to parenting, because no two kids are same. My two daughters are extremely apart, poles apart from each other. So no two kids are same. And it's good to write your own book. You can take tips from others, but don't copy paste or don't Xerox their life book and apply it, put paste in yours.
Yeah.
Write your own book.
That's a good one. Because I always believe that every parenting is so different. Every baby is so different.
Absolutely.
Like, there's no one.
You
book.
have to modify.
Yeah.
Like my elder one is a guy. I mean, she was so easy to, work with. She was so easy to raise. And because of that, I thought I had the guts to go for the second one. And my God, my whole motherhood experience just flipped. Like my younger one is a dynamite. Nobody can handle her. My husband cannot handle her.
Are you
Right.
the, how many
I'm an
siblings?
elder one.
You're the elder
I'm the firstborn.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
My husband's the second born.
I'm the second born. I'm the youngest.
You won't know the
I'm
pain.
the- okay. The next.
I took one big bite.
Okay. So the next one is the really small joy that you don't talk about enough.
I think just being able to wake up in the morning next to people who you love. We don't thank the universe enough for that. But I feel a lot of people don't have that. Waking up in a house that has harmony, that has peace, that has quiet and love, and is filled with people who you love, who love you. I think that's very underrated. People don't really thank the universe enough for that. We thank the universe for giving us a family, but we don't thank them for the love that that family gives us.
Yeah.
We thank them for the work that we do, but people behind that, that makes the silent heroes that make us
Correct.
successful, we don't talk enough about that. So I just feel the little and the biggest joy is waking up in a house that is happy and filled with people who love you.
Wonderful. Yeah. Very true. These are small,
Very small joys.
small joys. I think you live for such moments in
Absolutely.
your life.
And I've seen a lot of people around me who don't have that.
Yeah.
So it makes me more grateful for what I have.
Very.
Another bite? My
Yes.
God, we're going back with tons of calories.
Okay, I have one last questions right now. What does being vulnerable mean to you? Like being through those stages in your life as a mother, as an individual person.
Sharanya, I feel the definition is different for everyone of being vulnerable. For me, I feel your feelings and your emotions are like diarrhea, better outside than inside. If I feel something about you, if I have some problem with you, or if you did something that I didn't like, and you matter to me, you will know about it. I don't believe in keeping it inside me and letting it rot. I think that leads to a lot of, poison inside you, turns to poison inside you. And more than that, it turns your relationships poisonous. And the relationships are secondary. I feel like I don't deserve that.
Yeah.
I can't do that to myself. So for my peace and my sanity, I like to speak it out. I'm extremely vulnerable. And I don't have any shame in showing it. If I'm down, even in my stories, a lot of times, I've had pathetic days. Just last year I went through depression, and I took my time, but I was very open about it. That this is what I'm going through, and why should I be ashamed about it? It is what it is. If you know my happy days, if you're cheering me in your achievements, you should know that it's not always perfect. I have my bad days too. My husband probably sees me cry 4 or 5 times a month. And randomly, just sitting and I'm just overwhelmed with something and I'm in tears. So for me, I feel I like to show my emotions. I think it's healthy and it's not a sign of weakness.
Not a sign of absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a sign of PS. And I see there's a lot of competition in today's content creation life.
Lot.
Competition. That adds on to so much of stress. And what's your self-care routine that you have? This one was without a bite, but can
I'll take a
have a
bite
bite.
after
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So, yes, there is a lot of competition because the space is cluttered, but at the same time, I feel there is enough work for everyone. I see a lot of examples where people have been insecure about their colleagues and, oh my God, she got this and she got this and I didn't get it and this. And all I have been doing is the work that has to come to me will come to me. Nobody can take it away from me. You can call me spiritual, you can call me, God-fearing or whatever. I don't believe in getting into somebody else's work. If it's meant for me, it'll come to me. So that's my belief that I work with. And I feel like people need to start believing in themselves and respecting their own work and their own worth more than getting validation online.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, say, just for an example, if I hit 100K, if people had not congratulated me, doesn't mean I'm not going to be proud of myself.
Yeah.
I know the hard work I put behind it. So I feel like that is missing. We seek a lot of validation online from people, and that is very common in our industry. It's an occupational hazard, and that is something that only people themselves can correct.
Yeah.
once they realize.
Do you have a self-detox, self-care routine that
Yes.
you follow?
Yes, I do. I love going out for drives. I love traveling. Traveling is actually, you know, even if I'm traveling for work, it's very soothing for me. I like that recycled.
It's a therapy.
Yeah. I love the aircraft recycled air,
Yeah.
so to speak. So
True.
that is something that I really, you know, love. And apart from that, I like getting a good massage. Music is my therapy. Music is something that my husband and I really bond on.
Is it just hearing or do you also
No. I
vocal?
can't sing. No. That will be traumatic for others. I might sing, but it'll be very traumatic for others. So I'm not a singer. That is one career that's not open.
what's your genre? What's your music?
I like
taste?
soft Bollywood songs, 80s, 90s
Oh, wow.
Bollywood. Those are my jam.
Yeah.
Ghazals are my jam. So I've grown up listening to
Wow, yeah,
ghazals.
ghazals,
My
mm.
mom writes. She's written a lot of ghazals and shairis. So I've grown up because where I'm from, there's a lot of flexion on our language and how we speak. So I've grown up listening to a lot of Ghulam Ali and you know, Mirza Ghalib and all of that. And I relate to that. Sadly, now my kids don't pick up the same music taste as I do.
Have you taken them to Kashmir?
My elder one has been. My younger one, hopefully this year. Okay.
We'll
So
see
that's
your
yeah.
audio, yeah.
So that's something that we do for de-stressing.
De-stress. Lovely. So I think now it's time to just dig in the deserts and say cheers to Shreya.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much,
having me.
Shreya, for doing this. Lovely
It
talking
was-
to you.
It was my
And
pleasure.
we're going to have more soon. More achievements.
Absolutely.
We're going to meet more.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. I'm really looking forward to it. And it was such
Yes.
a great time. And, you know, it was such a fluid conversation. So I love talking to you.
Same
And
here.
I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much. We've always met at different events. This is the first time actually we are sitting and having a conversation.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
at
I
events,
think-
we're in such a rush to do things
Yeah.
that we don't really get to interact properly. So this was good.
Thank you.